So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. I want to start tonight by talking a little bit about the goals of the program, and I think this Jane Jacobs quote really encapsulates it well. That we are looking to help you develop your skills and your networks to help communities build successful, vibrant, happy cities. And these are places that arise out of the visions of many, not the powerful few. And so today, what I want to do is sort of, in addition to welcoming you, talk a little bit about what planning is, talk a little bit about why you might want to get your Masters of Urban and Regional Planning at UCI, and talk a little bit about what we do in the program and what the curriculum consists of. I also want to talk about our admissions requirements, what you should expect to be doing for the application. And of course, I want you to have a time to ask questions, and Jorge and I will be happy to answer those questions. My name is Nick Morantz. I am the faculty director of the Master of Urban and Regional Planning program. I'm also a faculty member in the Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, where the program is housed. And I'm joined today by Jorge Padilla, who is the assistant director of the program. So according to the American Planning Association, the goal of planning is to maximize the health, safety, and economic well-being of all people living in our communities. And so that involves thinking about how we can move around our community, how we can attract and retain thriving businesses where we want to live, and opportunities for recreation. And the goal of planning is to help create communities of lasting value. And so what planners do is they research and design and develop programs to promote those goals, lead public processes, try to affect social and structural change. They perform technical analyses, and they strive to promote equity, health, and well-being, in part by managing public engagement processes, by managing other people, employees, and also by educating members of the public. So within the broad field of planning, there are many areas of specialization, and those include land use planning and infrastructure planning. So think, where should highways go? Where should schools go? How should different parcels of land be used? Transportation planning, housing planning, commercial real estate development, environmental planning, including administering environmental regulations, and community development, working directly with communities to achieve their goals. Orange County is a terrific place to study planning. It is an extremely diverse county. It is within the larger region of Southern California, which is one of the most dynamic and diverse places in the United States. There are a lot of great opportunities in Orange County and Southern California. There are a lot of problems in Orange County and Southern California, including problems related to climate change, problems of housing affordability, problems of homelessness, and so it is an exciting place to study planning and to practice planning, both because there are so many exciting opportunities, wonderful natural resources, wonderful cultural resources, but also really challenging problems. UCI is also a great place to study planning. And in part, this stems from the structure, the organizational structure of the program. So we are a program, a Master of Urban and Regional Planning program, located within a department, the Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, which is located in a school, School of Social Ecology, which is housed within the University of California, Irvine. And so we really benefit as a program, as a Master of Urban and Regional Planning program, from being in a Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, because a lot of the problems that urban planners deal with are not just problems of urban planning. They are also problems of public policy. And so we have we have access to faculty who are working on really pressing problems of environmental governance, of water policy that might not typically be taught in an urban planning program, but that we have great coverage of because we have these exceptional public policy faculty, in addition to our terrific urban planning faculty. And so we are housed as a department within the School of Social Ecology. And the whole idea behind the School of Social Ecology is that many of the most pressing problems facing us today cannot be addressed by any one discipline, right? And so we need a school where there's cross-pollination among different disciplines. And so within the School of Social Ecology, we have a Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, but also a Department of Criminology, Law, and Society, a Department of Psychological Sciences. And the idea is that these different disciplines inform complementary approaches to the pressing problems that we face as a society today. And then, of course, the school is located within this broader university that is one of the leading research universities in the country, and indeed in the world. And so within our MURP program, our Master of Urban and Regional Planning program, students develop the knowledge and the technical, communicative, and professional skills to enhance the planning profession. We educate students to understand complex urban challenges across multiple spatial scales, right? So not just the neighborhood, not just the city, but also the broader region, and indeed the entire state and the country, and in some cases, the global context. And we also embrace core planning values of sustainability and inclusiveness. And we do this in a variety of ways through our coursework, but also through our programming, which I'll discuss more momentarily. And we prepare students to play a significant role in creating a desirable future by confronting complex physical and social challenges. And we're also located on a very nice campus. This is a picture of our campus for those of you who haven't been. I encourage you to visit. This is the Aldrich Park, which is in the middle of the UC Irvine campus. So the MURP program is a professional degree program, and it yields professional results. It's a full-time program. So that means that we expect you to take 3 courses per quarter. We certainly have students who have internships and jobs during the time that they are students, but it is quite difficult to maintain a full-time job and also participate in the program. We also are the only accredited planning master's program in Orange County. We are accredited by the Planning Accreditation Board, which is the main accreditation body for Masters of Urban and Regional Planning programs. We have the longest possible period of accreditation you can get from the Planning Accreditation Board is 7 years, and we have a 7-year accreditation. We are right in the middle of our accreditation cycle, and it speaks very well of the program that we received the full 7-year accreditation. Many programs do not receive the full 7 years, but it's, I think, a testament to our service to our students that we were able to do that. Our employment rate for our graduates is consistently strong. We maintain up-to-date employment statistics on our website. Part of the reason for this, apart from the fact that the program, I think, does a really good job of linking students to the planning community in Southern California, is that the metro area in which we're located has the highest level of employment for planners in the country. And California generally is a state with a lot of employment opportunities for planners. So our mission statement is we strive to educate aspiring planning professionals to develop and implement equitable strategies to address complex challenges within a diverse society, to translate planning knowledge to improve well-being, and engage communities to build a just and sustainable future. How do we do that? We do that primarily through our instruction. And so the classes that you will be taking as a MURP student are, first of all, 5 core courses. So that's history and theory of urban planning, plan development and communication, quantitative analysis for planners, microeconomics for planners, and land use law. And so history and theory of urban planning will teach you about some of the ideas that have animated urban planning, particularly over the past 100 years or so, although in some cases you'll learn about more historically remote ideas. Some of these ideas were very compelling ideas. All of them seem to be compelling at the time, but some in retrospect we have learned we recognize as quite problematic. And so this course will sort of try to identify what has worked, what has not worked, and how we should think critically about future proposals for planning activities. Plan development and communication teaches you how to manage a lot of the kinds of data sets that you will be using as a planner, but also how to think critically about those data and how to engage community members in understanding, interpreting, and analyzing data. Quantitative analysis for planners will introduce you to some of the basic statistical concepts that planners need to be familiar with. Microeconomics for planners will introduce you to ideas about how markets work. Much of what planners deal with is regulating, and regulations are essentially interventions in the markets that affect how resources are allocated. And then land use law will teach you about a specific set of regulations. Those are the regulations that govern what can and cannot be built in cities in the United States, cities and counties and rural areas in the United States. In addition to these 5 core courses, which in most cases you'll complete within your first year, there are also a bunch of core elective courses. So we call this a menu of core elective courses. There's the urban settlements menu and the methods menu. And so you have to take at least one course off of each of these 2 menus. You are free to take more than one course from each of these menus if you want to, but you have to take at least one course. And we typically offer at least 2 of these courses every year. Many years we offer all 3 courses from each menu. We will always offer at least one course from each menu every year. And so the courses for the urban settlements menu are transportation and environmental health, housing policy, and land use policy. And from the methods menu are analytical methods for planners, which is a more advanced quantitative course, qualitative methods, which will teach you how to do field work and qualitative data collection, so doing interviews and that sort of thing, and then geographic information systems for planners, which is an introduction to geographic information systems, or GIS. We also, in addition to our core courses and our core elective courses, offer a large number of electives. These are not all offered every year. We try to offer most of these on a 2-year cycle. So since the MURP lasts 2 years, we want all students to have an opportunity to take our elective courses. So our electives include advanced GIS, climate adaptation planning, community engagement, environmental and racial justice, environmental economics and policy, environmental planning and management, global water security, historic preservation, professional development, site design, site development, and transportation planning. You can also take planning-related classes outside of the Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, and I encourage you to meet with Jorge or myself to strategically select courses that will enable you to most effectively explore the planning field and prepare for your career. Finally, you'll be completing a capstone project. The main options here are the planning practicum or the professional report. This will be completed during the fall and winter terms of your second year in the program. The planning practicum pairs students with a client, which is typically a city, often a city in Orange County or Southern LA County. So it's a nearby city, and the fact that it's nearby enables students to visit the relevant sites many times throughout their project and meet with stakeholders. And so the planning practicum is a 2-quarter sequence. It's taught by an experienced planning practitioner who has lots of contacts within the region. And so she will work with cities that are looking to engage in some planning project. She'll cultivate those relationships and then sort of guide students through the planning process so that by the end of the course, they have a product that they can present to the city, and students can include this in their portfolio. And the results are often used by cities. Last year, we had numerous city council members attending the meeting. We had the city manager attending the meeting in addition to many community members. This was for the final presentation for the practicum, and they were really impressed by the quality of the work, and they were taking photos of the slides to remind themselves of what was being presented, because it was so compelling. So that's the planning practicum. The other alternative is the professional report. And so the way the professional report works is that a student will identify a client, and this will happen in the summer before the second year. So by the end of the summer, you'll need to have identified a client, contacted the client, and secured an agreement with the client to pursue a professional report. Jorge can help you identify clients. Faculty, myself included, can help you to identify potential clients, and you will develop the idea for the report with the client. In some cases, the client will have an idea for you. In some cases, you'll need to work with the client to figure out an idea. And then in the fall quarter, you will take a professional report class, which is taught by a faculty member, and that faculty member will help you to sort of hone the report to something that you can complete within a 10 to 15 week period. And then during that fall quarter, you will identify a faculty advisor, and then during the winter quarter, you will work with your faculty advisor to complete your professional report. I should also mention that UC Irvine is on a quarter system. So we have 3 academic quarters per year. And so each quarter you'll be taking 3 classes. So how to maximize your time at UC Irvine? Well, first of all, we have a concurrent JD MURP degree with the law school. So you do your MURP degree in our department and then get a law degree at the law school. In order to do that, you need to apply to both our MURP program and the law school. We have an international study and research program called NOIRIS, which places students in one of 3 Northern European countries, in Austria, in Germany, or in the Netherlands. And we typically send 1 to 3 MURP students a year to study abroad. We also have a number of research and engagement centers, including Water UCI, which is run by one of my colleagues within the Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, the Social Ecology, Climate, and Urban Sustainability program, which is led by another of my colleagues in the Department of Urban Planning and Public Policy, the Blum Center for Poverty Alleviation, the Metropolitan Futures Initiative, all of which are run out of the School of Social Ecology. We also have UCI Engage and many, many more centers. And one of, I think, the strongest selling points for the program is our small student cohort size. So many urban planning programs have 60 to 80 students in an incoming class. We typically have 25 to 30 students in an incoming class. And we have a lot of faculty per student. So we have 4.5 students for each faculty member, which is a very advantageous ratio in comparison to some of our competitor programs, right? So there are and so you'll get relatively, you can get a significant amount of faculty attention if you want to engage with faculty. And we also have a number of student associations. We have two currently operational ones, and one that I think is going to be up and running by the end of this year. But our currently operational ones are the Urban Planning Student Association and the UCI chapter of the Orange County Association of Environmental Professionals. And these provide really terrific opportunities for students to, first of all, to get to know each other better, but also to engage with the broader planning community in Southern California. Speaking of professional engagement, we have an active mentorship program. Many of our alumni live and work in the region. They are really excited to mentor the next generation of planners. We have many professional skill building events. We have a professional development class that is taught by a practicing planner who's also a member of the board of the Orange County chapter of the American Planning Association. And she typically brings in many other practitioners to give students a sense of the breadth of options for planning careers and also to provide networking opportunities. I should also mention that Jorge Padilla, the assistant director of the MURP program, who's here on the call today, is a member of the Orange County chapter. He's a member of the board of the Orange County chapter of the American Planning Association, and that creates many opportunities for our students to get more involved as well. We also provide a number of skills-based elective courses. These include site design, site development. We are, for the first time this year, offering a historic preservation class. And we have a transportation practice class. We have guest lectures and workshops. I'd love to hear from students what topics they would like to have covered in workshops. Through our professional development class and also through some of our skills-based classes like transportation practice, we have site visits, job shadowing, and you will, as a student, get an incessant stream of emails with internships and job postings. So there are many opportunities to get involved in the planning community in Southern California while you are still a student. And support as well for independent career development activities. So tuition and fees vary significantly depending on whether you are a California resident or a non-resident. And so these are fees per quarter. So the total per year, the sticker price for California residents is for 2023-24 is about $26,300. So financial aid can help to defray those costs. We typically offer we offer financial aid to many incoming students. The size of the financial aid package varies depending on a variety of factors. But I would definitely encourage you to apply and see what financial aid offer you receive, and if the application fee is itself a hardship, it is possible also to apply for an application fee waiver. Jorge can provide you with more details about that. In terms of funding support, as I mentioned, we have merit-based and diversity fellowships. Campus-wide, there are a variety of fellowships and grants from Graduate Division. And there are also external scholarships available. And I will just say that this year, the Orange County chapter, I think, had the most successful applicants for the California Planning Foundation scholarships, and I think all but one of those students were our students. So it is certainly possible to get external scholarships, and our students have been doing very well on that front. What is required for admission? So we take a holistic approach. We consider many aspects of your application. We look at grade point average, but a a lower grade point average doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be admitted. We take into account the courses that you took. And we also recognize that people encounter a variety of challenges in life. And so if there are periods of poor grades, you should explain those in your personal statement. But I would still say that you should nevertheless seriously consider applying. You should also have 3 letters of recommendation. We welcome letters from both academic references and professional references. We strongly recommend that you get at least 1 academic recommendation letter. And then you will also include a statement of purpose and a personal history statement. So the statement of purpose focuses on your goals. Why are you undertaking a Master of Urban Regional Planning? We're interested in why you want to participate in the program. So your future, I would emphasize, although it's certainly fine to include information about your past, because our experiences inform what we hope to do in the future, this should be really a future-oriented statement. And then the personal history statement should focus on your personal background. So your life experience, your history, how they motivate your personal and professional goals. If you have encountered hardships in the past that, for example, explain something else about your application, like a period of a low GPA, for example, that would be something to include in the personal history statement. We also welcome information on how you have contributed to or plan to contribute to diversity, equity, and inclusion within our program and within the planning profession. Applications are open. The deadline for applications and priority funding consideration is January 15th. We may continue to accept applications after that, but we will make our initial round of admissions decisions shortly after January 15th, and we'll allocate funding at that time. So definitely please apply by January 15th in order to receive priority consideration for funding. In early March, we'll have a welcome event for admitted students. And then by April 15th, we will ask you whether you plan to attend. So this URL provides the link with admissions information, with contact information. And I hope you will stay in touch with me and with Jorge. And I would like now to open it up for questions.
And Nick, this is where I'm gonna stop recording.
Perfect.
All right, thank you, man. Excellent presentation, Nick. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody for sitting through the presentation. And I think it's always really helpful to have questions and answers. Ariel?